All right, gang. On today's video, we're going to go up into the audiobook business with a couple of my friends from Soundbooth Theater. They're going to talk to us about the Soundbooth Theater app, their audio immersion tunnels, Dungeon Crawler Carl, the audiobook industry altogether, and how you can buy audiobooks direct and benefit the author and save you money. So tune in for the first of our DragonCon videos with Soundbooth Theater. Hey there, so I'm sitting here in our fabulous YouTube DragonCon studio, coming to you live from the 63rd floor of the Westin Peachtree. I don't know the name of this hotel, do y'all?
Peachtree?
We're in Atlanta, isn't everything Peachtree?
This is the author's drinking central. This is where authors come to drink.
Yes.
So that's why he's staying here.
This is true. So welcome back to the channel. I'm John Hartness. I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books, as well as the author of multiple titles, including Quincy Harker Demon Hunter, Bubba the Monster Hunter, and relevant to today's conversation, Identity Theft, which we'll talk about in a little more detail later. And I'm joined by Jacob Raccuia.
Hi, I'm Jacob Raccuia, the CEO of Soundbooth.
And Jeff Hayes.
Hello, I'm Jeff Hayes, CEO of Soundbooth Theater and Soundbooth.
And some of you may have heard the name Jeff Hayes. You may have seen him famously getting an ass tattoo.
That's correct. My is all over YouTube.
Literally. And his voice is all over Audible and YouTube as the voice of Dungeon Crawler Carl. And really, let's face it, more importantly, the voice of Princess Donut.
That is correct.
Look, I got a degree in theater, and it still surprises me how you can just hop into that voice. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I hop in and out of all sorts of voices all the time. It's reflex now. You know, it's not always been that way. I just got a lot of practice. I've narrated a lot of audiobooks. I believe it's more than 200 by now. More than 300 by now.
Good God. That's almost as many as our associate publisher listens to in a year.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. But we wanted to talk to you guys today about, you've seen the videos on how Audible is behaving badly with regards to royalties and diverting funds into the Audible Plus program. And some of you have asked in comments about alternatives to Audible. And one of the best that I've found is the Soundbooth Theater app. So I really wanted you guys to talk a little bit about that. And Jacob, why don't you give us the rundown on the app and the platform and how this works?
Sure. So the Soundbooth app is an audiobook app for you to listen to audio. But unlike Audible or Google Books or Kobo, we're not here to take money from the creators. We're just here to share this audio content that the creators created, both the authors and the voice actors and the narrators. And each sale, give that money back to the creators. We don't want to profit off of the hard work of other people. We just want a platform where that audio is accessible for you. So that is why Soundbooth exists.
So, Jeff, how long has Soundbooth been in the game?
Soundbooth, as a company, has only been around since April of this year. But Soundbooth Theater has been running this app as our own home since 2020. October of 2020, I think, is when we launched. Yeah. So we've been managing this thing for a good 5 years, and let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not cheap. Jacob said we're not looking to profit off of other creators. I would say that's not technically all the way true.
And here's the difference between the COO conversation and the CEO conversation.
Yeah. Of course, we would like to make money on this platform one day. We're just not doing it yet because there simply isn't enough content. There simply isn't enough of a user base at this moment. But we keep growing. Every year, our revenue has increased. We've had a couple years that were almost 2x as far as revenue growth.
That's amazing.
And that's just from stuff that is from Soundbooth Theater exclusively, right? We have just this year started to take on publishing duties for other publishers, for other creators. And so that's our current journey, is trying to get more people in the industry behind us, and to show everybody that there is another way to do this. We take a much smaller royalty percentage than, let's say, Audible, but also we're very much about cooperating. Right? We want our creators to feel like partners rather than just people who we take money from. I think that's really what Jacob was trying to get at, is we see our creators as valuable partners in this business, and we want our partners to succeed.
So how does it work when, let's say, for example, an author who Soundbooth Theater has not created the audiobook? You are now handling distribution for audiobooks from self-published authors who do not have any exclusivity agreements, right?
Correct. And it's pretty simple. If you're interested in being published on the Soundbooth platform, you talk to me. You send me an email, or you can send it to Jeff, and Jeff will send it to me. And
Jacob at soundbooth.app.
Jacob at soundbooth.app.
We will link that in the description.
And we'll get your book published on our platform. It's as simple as that. Of course, there's a contract, but the contract is beautiful. It's written not to hurt you, but to help you. We're all in this together, as Jeff was saying, partners, and we can empower your work by putting it on this platform with our other users and help you sell more content.
Now, how does it work from the listener end?
From the listener end, you go to the App Store and you download this Soundbooth app, or you can check it on our website at soundbooth.app, and you can listen on the website if you don't want to download an app to your phone.
So do they get a credit? Is there a monthly subscription fee? Do you just buy an audiobook?
No monthly subscriptions, no credits, no obfuscation of prices. You pay money for the audiobooks that you want. When you purchase an audiobook, you're able to download it to your library.
Wait a second. So you can buy a piece of digital media that you actually own?
Okay. Technically, in the contract, right, to cover our asses, not really. But we are looking at developing more features to where we can actually allow people to download MP3s onto their computer or onto their phone, so that they can take that MP3 at some point. Like,
okay.
This is something we need to develop, and this is something that users are always asking about.
Yeah,
and we're very sympathetic to. There's a lot of debate about how annoying it is for when there's an audiobook out there, or a movie, or any kind of
or
book,
an ebook.
Publishers or distributors will change the content, for instance, for one reason or another, and people want the original. They want that time-stamped version, and they want to be able to take it wherever they want to go. Whether, like, let's say you get sick of our app, let's say you get sick of any of our bullshit, right? And you just want the files. We want to make that available to everyone who listens to our stuff. It's something that we're sympathetic to, but at the moment, it still pretty much works the same way that Audible does, except there's no DRM on the files. So if you're savvy and you know secret ways to actually access the data in your phone, you might figure out some way to actually get the MP3s yourself. But really, you're able to download the audiobooks, if you're not that savvy, into your own app and listen to it without an internet connection. Once you've done that, we're trying to make it as convenient as possible.
And your prices are surprisingly affordable for audiobooks, because I'm used to seeing audiobooks priced at $35 for a 9-hour audiobook, or the member price is $25, right, and out of that the author gets $4.
Yeah, so we actually allow the authors to set the price of the audiobook that they want to sell, and it's not something that we look at and we calculate ourselves. So if you came to me and you wanted to sell a 12-hour audiobook for $4, we'll sell it for $4. It's not our audiobook to price, it's your audiobook. So you can pick and choose on the, controversially, if you have that's not the word I wanted, but on the other side of things, if you had a very long or short audiobook with a lot of voice actors and sound effects and music, and you put more time into creating it, you can sell that at $29 if you wanted. You can sell it at whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, Soundbooth Theater, for those of you who aren't familiar with our content, we produce a lot of cinematic audio, which is basically just a sexier way of saying audio drama. And, we put a lot of production effort and time and money into those productions. So, yeah, it would be nice for us to be paid a little bit more than traditionally would be getting paid for, let's say, publishing it on Audible, right? So one thing that we like to do is we like to take, if we do a cinematic audio version of an audiobook, then what we'll do is we'll chop it up into episodes. Let's say, like for instance, Dungeon Crawler Carl. The Dungeon Crawler Carl audio immersion tunnel, just book one, is in 8 episodes. Each episode is $3.99, but you can buy them in a bundle for $21. Okay, but what that does is that allows us to justify putting in more of a budget for a more realized, well-produced, and immersive experience, right?
So what kind of extra pieces do you get in that more immersive experience? Because I know a lot of my viewers have listened to the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobooks, and what do they get extra from going in this immersive tunnel?
Right. Well, what I really love about having released this is that there's debate. There's debate amongst the audience which one's better. There's a lot of purists out there who are like, I just want Jeff doing it, right? And that's what you get if you go to Audible. If you come to Soundbooth and you get the audio immersion tunnel, I have relinquished many roles in the story. I'm still Carl, I'm still Donut, I'm still the AI and Mordecai, but the rest of the characters are voiced by different people in the Soundbooth Theater cast. Not only that, we have an entire soundtrack. It's more than 2 records.
It is more than 2 records.
It is more than 2 records.
More than 2 records.
We actually do you want a soundtrack vinyl? Because I have some extra ones.
I 1000% want a soundtrack vinyl.
So
do you have 2 with you?
Yes.
Because I will slip one into the Dragon Con charity auction if you and Matt will autograph it.
There we go.
And then someone here at Dragon Con in the past, because you are not in any way going to see this before Dragon Con charity auction happens in 3 days. But yeah, I will auction off an autographed Dungeon Crawler Carl soundtrack from you and Matt Dinneman, and
Absolutely.
all of that money will go to the National Association for Mental Illness Georgia chapter. And this year Dragon Con is matching that up to the first $250,000 raised.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So happy to donate that for that cause for sure. That's 80 minutes of music, and that's still not everything. Like we couldn't fit the entire soundtrack onto the vinyl, but you can hear all of the entire soundtrack throughout the production of the audio immersion tunnel. There's great sound effects. I'm especially proud of what we did for the Ball of Swine boss fight. It's just a completely different experience that's more immersive because we have these extra actors who are, in my opinion, doing a better job of representing all the rest of the characters in the Dungeon Crawler Carl story. And you just get all this extra atmosphere. You get to hear more of the world. Honestly, the music is the part that I'm most proud of.
The music is pretty awesome. I've listened to the first chapter, and it is a great experience. I have not listened to the first Dungeon Crawler Carl on audio. I read that ebook. I've listened to, I think, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
And you do have additional cast members there,
Right.
including some tall guy who played an insect.
Yeah. Well, I think it's an arachnid, isn't it?
I don't know how many legs. If you know how many legs a tick has, you can tell me in the comments whether or not Patrick Warburton was an insect or an arachnid.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be able to get him back for the audio immersion tunnel once we get back up to book 5. So far, we only have book 1 on the platform, but we are planning to release books 2 and 3 back to back. And like I said, we chop them up into episodes. We also release them in episodes. So it's going to be 17 weeks straight of releasing Dungeon Crawler Carl seasons 2 and 3 of the audio immersion tunnel,
Wow.
starting in December.
So if you've got a commute, then you can have Carl in your ear holes for 4 straight months. And yeah, I said what I said. So is there anything else you guys want to tell people about the platform as an alternative to other places that may be a little less author friendly? I know I had a great time working with y'all on my audiobook for identity theft. There'll be a link for that down in the description as well. And you guys did a great job narrating that with multiple narrators. It was the first time any of my audiobooks had more than one narrator.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that audiobook because I listened to it. I loved it. Annie Ellicott narrated. Andy Parsnow, if you guys are familiar with The Wandering Inn, she plays Annie's the main character's best friend. What's her name?
Oh God, I don't know. It's Dragon Con, man. I'm doing good to remember our names.
It's a great buddy comedy with those two, and Gary Furlong does voices, and so do I for the male characters. And it is a great time. It is just nonstop laughs on that one, and basically it's about a woman who
she gets her. It's based on a true story,
right?
Because at the beginning of the pandemic, my wife's identity was stolen, and it was like $27 to order the most generic garbage sub sandwiches from Jimmy John's to deliver to some neighborhood outside of Disney World in Florida. And it was like, hold everything and add extra mayo. And I was like, these are the whitest thieves ever. So I couldn't get my bank to care. I couldn't get the site that her identity was stolen from to care. So I said, well, all right, I only know one way to get revenge. I'll write a book about it and I'll make $27.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've made more than that so far.
Slightly.
Yeah. But hey, go check it out. Another Fall Staff production.
Yes.
Yeah. Is
A Wrinkle and Crime by J.D. Blackrose.
Yeah, and Ryan Reed is the narrator on that one. He does an excellent job. He falls right into that role. It's about a zombie cosmetologist
named Waylon Jenkins. And hidden in every one of the novellas that make up this novella collection is a Waylon Jennings song reference that you have to be a deep cut Waylon Jennings fan to catch.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Also joined by Jessica Threet. If you're big Audible people, you'll probably recognize her name. And also I do some character voices as well, including the actual guy who raises him from the dead in the first place.
Nice.
Samuel Early, I think his name. Yeah.
I believe you, but I only edited the first one of those novellas, and it was like 6 years ago.
Yeah. So it's really great content, and that's actually 4 short stories. You can buy them individually. You can get the first one for free, or you can buy all of them at once for $9.
So go to soundbooth.app, get the Soundbooth app in your app store, and check out the work that these folks are doing. And definitely check out the immersive Dungeon Crawler Carl, as well as my book and J.D. Blackrose's book. So let's loop back around to what else makes the Soundbooth app better, both for creators, which is more money, but also for listeners. What do y'all bring to the table that Audible or anybody else, Spotify, you get 10 hours. You get 10 hours in a month. And I don't know if y'all noticed, most audiobooks are longer than 10 hours.
Indeed. I would say that what separates us at the moment is heart. We care about what we do. We are audiobook producers. We are audiophiles. We love making these things. And we made this platform because we wanted an escape hatch. We wanted a way to get away from the big corporations that basically want to sell out all of our work and bring prices down to zero and replace us with AI potentially. I saw this coming for a long time, so that's why we got this started. And right now, what it is just a good place where you can easily buy audiobooks and listen to them. But in the future, we're going to continue developing. We're back into the developing stage at the moment, and we really want to make it a place that listeners are really going to enjoy. Our One of our big targets is actually adding a commenting sort of interface where you can talk with other listeners about things that are happening right on the timeline. You can make bookmarks that you can share on social media. You can clip out certain things and say, "Hey, this part's hilarious. You guys have to check it out." Put it on Twitter. Put it on Facebook. These are goals that we have, so that we can bring you guys as listeners together, so that you can talk about the audiobooks right there on the platform, so that you can share these things with each other. We're going to be adding things like achievements that you guys can basically build up, share with each other, brag to each other about. You'll eventually perhaps have profiles that people can take a look at, and maybe you'll have a recommendation list of your own. If people know that you're a listener that shares a lot of tastes with themselves, they're going to want to look through your list and see what else they haven't found. Really, what we want is for Soundbooth to evolve into something that listeners are really going to enjoy interacting with, rather than just it being the way to play your audiobooks. We really care about the experience, and if you listen to our productions, you can tell. If you want that kind of passion to come to your platform as well, then I think the best thing that you can do is support us, help us grow so that we can get there.
I was going to give a very COO response to your question, but Jeff mentioned achievements in the app, and it just makes me think about this idea that we've talked about for years now, where every time you get a new achievement in the app, you hear the AI say,
Oh yeah,
new achievement.
yeah, absolutely. You know what? And even if you're not on the inside of that joke with DCC, perhaps we could do this with lots of different voices. And
Like Snoop Dogg.
Like Snoop Dogg, right? We want to customize it. We want listeners to feel like they have a home there, where they can collect their favorite audiobooks and really look at it as achievements. Like one thing that I think people are missing a lot is the collectability of their media. Going back to physical stuff, like being able to have a bookshelf full of all the books that you've had, that you've collected over the years, or your DVDs or whatever. We kind of want to reawaken that experience in digital form. There's so much that we want to do, but we need a groundswell of support in order to get there.
Jeff pretty much nailed it on the head. And if you're using the app and you experience any, troubles or difficulties or things that make you think, yeah, well, this didn't happen on Audible, you can just email us at help@soundbooth.app, and I probably will answer you and help you. So we're here to listen. We take all feedback seriously. We have tickets for everything. We have feature requests, and we're open to working with our fans and our users to continue to grow this app into a place where it is the audiobook app that you use and the audiobook app that you recommend to your friends who listen to audio.
And one of my favorite things about Soundbooth is that it's not some giant faceless multinational corporation. These are people that I know. These are people that I spend time with. These are people that I like, and they're real people. Jeff plays an AI, but he doesn't use AI to create audiobooks.
That's correct.
So what would Princess Donuts say that people should go do right now?
Go to soundbooth.app and download Soundbooth to your phone right now. Right now!
Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for joining me and taking a little time away from your Dragon Con. It was great hanging out, and we'll see you downstairs in the Writers Hangout.
We are not faceless. We are represented by Macaroon the raccoon.
Yeah, you can
So-
look at that on the app.
So you can look for the Trash Panda on your phone. And Princess Donut's favorite Trash Panda will get you all of your audiobook needs.
There you go.